Imagine waking up to find someone you love has vanished. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. The fear grips you like a vice, your mind racing with every terrifying possibility. Today, we're exposing the most disturbing kidnapping cases in history, stories of stolen lives, unimaginable pain, and survival against all odds. Each one more shocking than the last, these stories will stay with you long after the video ends. Stay with us, because the truth is scarier than fiction. A kidnapping isn't just a crime, it's a wound that never truly heals. Families are left haunted, constantly searching, constantly hoping, their lives frozen in the moment their loved one was taken. For the victims, it's a nightmare of control, fear, and survival. These stories show us the darkest corners of humanity and the extraordinary strength it takes to endure them. Imagine sitting by the phone, hoping for news, any news, while battling the terror of what might be happening to your loved one. The not knowing is torture, the waiting unbearable. These cases reveal how one moment can shatter lives, leaving scars that last forever. Our first case is one of resilience in the face of unimaginable horror. In 1991, 11-year-old J.C. Lee Dugard was walking to school when she was snatched off the street by Philip Garrido and his wife. What followed was 18 years of captivity, 18 years of living in a prison of fear. J.C.'s stepfather watched helplessly as a car pulled her off the street. He chased after it on his bike, but it was too late. The gut-wrenching image of her being taken, the sound of screeching tires, would haunt him for the rest of his life. Imagine the helplessness of being seconds too late. Locked away in a backyard filled with tents and sheds, J.C. was cut off from the world. She endured unspeakable abuse, forced to give birth to 2 children while being told she'd never see her family again. Imagine the strength it took to survive in complete isolation for nearly 2 decades. In 2009, J.C. was rescued when 2 university police officers noticed Garrido's strange behavior. After 18 long years, J.C. was finally free. The moment she reunited with her family was bittersweet, years lost, but hope restored. Imagine being taken off the street, tricked by someone you thought you could trust. That's what happened to Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Gina De Jesus, who were kidnapped by Ariel Castro and held captive in his Cleveland home for over a decade. Their stories are nothing short of harrowing. Inside the walls of Castro's ordinary suburban home, unimaginable horrors took place. The women were chained, beaten, and abused daily. The windows were boarded, the doors locked, their cries for help unheard by the outside world. It was a prison disguised as a home. In 2013, Amanda Berry saw her chance to escape. Risking everything, she screamed for help until a neighbor came to her rescue. That one moment of bravery ended a decade of torment for her, Michelle, and Gina, proving that even in the darkest places, hope can survive. Despite the horrors they endured, these women have shown incredible resilience. They've rebuilt their lives, sharing their stories of survival to inspire others. Their courage reminds us that even in unimaginable darkness, the human spirit can shine. In 1932, the world was captivated by the tragic case of Charles Lindbergh Jr., the 20-month-old son of aviator Charles Lindbergh. Taken from his crib in the middle of the night, his disappearance became one of the most infamous kidnappings in history. On a cold March night, baby Charles vanished without a trace, leaving behind a ransom note and frantic parents. The search was desperate, the fear palpable. Imagine the agony of knowing your baby is out there somewhere, but you can't protect him. Despite the ransom being paid, Charles's lifeless body was found weeks later, not far from his home. The discovery shattered the Lindberghs and the nation, turning this case into a cautionary tale of how evil can strike even the most beloved families. In a story almost too horrifying to believe, Elizabeth Fritzl was imprisoned by her own father, Joseph Fritzl, for 24 years in a secret basement beneath their family home. Her ordeal is one of unimaginable suffering. Elizabeth lived in total darkness, with no way to escape. The soundproof dungeon was her prison, where she endured years of abuse and gave birth to 7 children. Imagine the betrayal of being trapped by the one person who was supposed to protect you. After 24 years, Elizabeth was freed when one of her children fell ill and needed medical care. Her bravery in the face of such unthinkable horror has inspired countless survivors around the world. On a family vacation in Portugal in 2007, 3-year-old Madeline McCann vanished from her bed while her parents were dining nearby. Her disappearance shocked the world and became one of the most talked about kidnappings in history. Imagine tucking your child into bed, thinking they're safe, only to return and find them gone. The McCann's desperation and grief captured the world's attention, sparking an international search for answers that remain elusive to this day. Despite countless investigations, sightings, and theories, Madeline has never been found. The not knowing, the empty space where she should be, is a wound her family carries every day. Natasha Kampusch was just 10 years old when she was snatched off the street in 1998. For 8 long years, she lived in captivity in a small, windowless room beneath her captor's home. Imagine living in a space so small you can barely stretch out, knowing the outside world is just beyond the walls but completely unreachable. Natasha's strength to endure and eventually escape is nothing short of remarkable. Sean Hornbeck was 11 years old when he was abducted in 2002. His captor allowed him to live a seemingly normal life on the surface, but beneath it all, he was trapped, unable to escape for over 4 years. Sean's case reminds us that survival sometimes means doing whatever it takes to stay alive. His eventual rescue brought hope to families everywhere searching for their missing children. Polly Kloss was taken from her own home during a slumber party in 1993. The innocence of a night spent with friends turned into a family's worst nightmare, sparking a nationwide outcry. Imagine the terror of being dragged from your home with no way to scream for help. Polly's story is a haunting reminder of how fragile safety can be. Hours after she was born, Kamaya Mobley was abducted from a hospital and raised by her kidnapper for 18 years. Imagine growing up thinking you know who you are, only to discover your entire life is a lie. When Kamaya learned the truth, she was torn between the love for the woman who raised her and the family she never knew. Her story is one of heartbreak, confusion, and resilience. The families of kidnapped children endure unimaginable pain, torn between hope and despair. Their courage to keep searching is a testament to the power of love. Kidnapping survivors shows the strength of the human spirit. They've endured horrors most of us can't imagine, yet they find a way to rebuild and inspire others. Behind every successful rescue is a team of investigators who refuse to give up. These stories highlight the tireless efforts of those who fight to bring the missing home. These cases remind us to stay vigilant, to trust our instincts, and to protect those we love. Awareness is our strongest defense against these unthinkable crimes. Even in the darkest moments, hope remains. These stories prove that miracles can happen and that no case is truly over until every question has been answered. While these stories are terrifying, they also remind us of the importance of vigilance and awareness. By staying informed, we can help protect ourselves and our communities. These stories are more than just tragedies, they're reminders of the resilience of the human spirit. Which case impacted you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if these stories moved you, make sure to subscribe for more tales of survival and courage. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and always protect the ones you love.